Good morning everyone, welcome to Join the Dots. Yesterday's video has caused some good comments, and a very sensible one came from Pablo Skates 7067. Thank you, Pablo Skates. It's important to address the questions because then I can give you more information. In fact, you draw it out of me. So today's video is It's Too Late. China and US policy dead end. This is so important because Pablo quite rightly says you can't join the dots to explain or to anticipate the policy, but you can, Pablo, when it's a dead end. When there is no more policy choice available, you can join the dots. Now, I've proved this in 1992 with the pound exiting the ERM. I proved it again in 2008 with GFC, and I proved it in 2011 with the Eurobond crisis when I told Jeff Randall of Sky News it would happen, and he reported it and it happened. Okay, I can see these things when we get to a crisis, and I mean a crisis. So we know China has no policy left. It has no policy options, okay? It has a crumbling economy. In all three legs of its economic stool have fallen off. Fallen off. Property, construction, development, consumption, exports. All gone. It's a three-legged stool with no legs. It's just a stool. Okay? Now, the US is approaching that level. It's getting there. And that's what I'm seeing. The policy options are almost zero. Hence the big beautiful bill, which obviously has caused consternation. Yes, it's got through, but look at the fallout even within the Republican ranks, because they know it's wrong. Intrinsically, it's wrong. What are we seeing today? And I really want you to understand this, because I've gone through yesterday's video, told you about China's fake jobs, told you about pay cuts, told you about consumption. It's reached the end of its economic road. So it has to reset. America is heading very much the same way. Today, from Eurodollar University, our friends at Eurodollar University, please look at their website. They have a webinar coming up on July the 10th. I really would encourage you to see it. It's, as I say, July the 10th. Have a look at their website. Have a look at their YouTube site, Eurodollar University, all one word. Very good data. Data. And he reinforces the message that Greg Manorino has been telling us all for the last 15 months. The debt market tells you what's happening, not the equity market. The equity market is for optimists. It's full of hopium, okay? The debt market tells you what's happening, and the debt market is screaming crisis in the US. It's screaming crisis. And how is that crisis now showing? The ADP report came out, ADP report on employment. Expected to show 100,000 gains, showed 33,000 losses. Microsoft laid off another 9,000. This is China a year ago. It's laying off staff. The consumption is down. The first 5 months of this year, consumption in the US is down, not level, not 1% up, down. And this is only the second time it's happened since when? 2009. You're going to see the date 2008, 2009 again and again and again and again in story after story after story after story, because that's where we are. Only this time, unlike 2009, when we could have printed masses of money, as we did, and came through it as we thought, not this time. Because what's the debt market telling us? What's everyone screaming about the US? 37 trillion debt. I'm telling you, China's got 47 trillion they haven't even accounted for. But another story, you've heard that story. Okay, America has 37 trillion debt, and it's conscious now. Their AAA rating has gone, their last AAA rating has gone, 2 had already gone before, but they clung on for 1. So what we're seeing is a debt crisis everywhere. And that's leading to an employment crisis everywhere. Because companies, unlike the state in China, which is clearly a really, really important and major employer, in the US it's the private sector. But now we're seeing the ADP report, we're seeing Microsoft, the jobs are going. And the public are not stupid. They've anticipated this. This is why I do leading indicators. This is why I try to tell you what's coming in advance so that you can plan and prepare. Okay? We saw this with consumption down for 5 months, first 5 months of the year. It was obvious jobs were going to go. Interesting thing here about the jobs going at Microsoft. It's because of the colossal expense that they've made into AI. Watch Eurodollar University to pick that up. As I say, I've spent 5 years refining who I listen to, who I see as telling the truth, who I see understanding the reality and not just spewing popular narrative. Okay? Gregory Mannarino and Eurodollar University, between them, they cover the US market in both data and insight. Gregory with the insight and the data, Eurodollar University purely with the data. In China, we have Lei's Real Talk, the politics, the geopolitics, and then we have the economics through China Update, through Tony. Okay, these are 4 very valuable sites because where the US and where China goes in the next 2-3 years, or next year, in fact, I believe, next year, tells us where the world goes. Okay, that's the major 2 economies. And Europe is just a permanent basket case waiting to crash. But, you know, it'll keep going. It'll keep going for now. So there we are. This is a most important video. And thank you very much, Pablo Skates, for asking me those questions or making those points. When you run out of policy options, as the UK did in '92 with the ERM exit, as the world did, or the Western world did with the GFC in 2008-9, okay? And then Europe did in 2011 with the Eurobond crisis. When they run out of options, that's when joining the dots is incredibly powerful because there is only one conclusion. It's not a range of options. It's one conclusion. We are prepared for that. Please follow this site because I'm going to prepare you for it. I know what's coming. The monetary system has to be completely reformed. And it could go 2 ways, as I've explained before. One based on metals, one based on crypto. That's what we're seeing. That's what everything is telling you. So please, look at Eurodollar University, look at China Update, look at Lei's Real Talk, look at Gregory Mannarino's site. Those 4, 2 in China, 2 in the US. Okay, I'll bring you others, but those 4 at the moment are the most pertinent and relevant. Thank you very much.